The wheel wells rattled so hard it felt like the bolts would pop loose. I gripped the metal frame of the seat in front of me, my fingers aching. Each corner we rounded sent my stomach twisting deeper into itself. The bus driver clearly thought he was hauling crates of concrete, not teenagers with internal organs. Across the aisle, Caleb kept his jaw clenched, shoulders squared. He didn't say anything. He didn't have to. I knew he was just as wrecked as I was. Same white-knuckled grip, same tense breaths through the nose. But he wore it better, always had. He could make anything look manageable, even fear. That's how he survived. We were barely 7 and 8 when the crash happened. It had been a decade, but neither of us had ever truly gotten back in the driver's seat. Any moving vehicle with a sketchy hum or rattle felt like a coffin with a steering wheel. Today wasn't any better. Maybe worse. It was 10 years to the day. 10 years ago, our mother had picked us up late. I remember how the heat baked the back of my legs against the seat. I was in front because I'd beaten Caleb to it. I teased him for being slow. I wish I hadn't. She was mid-sentence when she slammed the brakes. I only saw the flash of a child, a girl in the road. We swerved left, into the truck, metal folding into itself. The sky tilted. Sound was gone, replaced by a high-pitched tone and chaos. I crawled out through the window, my ankles screaming, palms bloodied by glass. Caleb pulled himself out after me. But the fire was already chewing its way through the engine. I remember screaming her name. My mother didn't move. Then she did, barely. Her arm extended, trembling through the twisted remains of the door. We touched, fingers, blood, glass. That was the last time. The fireman tore me away. The next time I looked, the car was flames and black smoke. And her. For years, people told us it wasn't how it happened, that we were pulled unconscious from the wreck, that there was no truck, no swerve, no girl in the road, just a 4-way intersection, a red light, an SUV. They said our memories were fabricated under trauma. But Caleb and I, we know, we were there, and now we were here, on a bus winding its way up a mountain on the anniversary. Biology field trip, a terrible idea. But we volunteered, told ourselves we could handle it, that we wouldn't break down in front of a bunch of kids we barely knew. There were 3 schools on this trip. Ours was the last to arrive, and we got shoved onto another school's bus to make space. That was part of the plan, really. That school had a reputation for beautiful girls. Classic Caleb. He sat us in the back next to the rattling axle and all. Half an hour in, he bailed. Said nothing, just stood up between turns, bracing himself with practiced swagger. He flashed smiles, flexed at the right angles, and slid into a seat between 2 brunettes like he belonged there. Even sick, he knew how to win people over. I stayed in the back. I kept staring out the window at gray cliffs and swaying trees. I wanted to disappear into them. Then I saw her. She sat alone, 1 row behind the driver. Long, pale hair, perfect posture. I could only see the side of her face, but it was enough to unsettle something in my stomach that wasn't motion sickness. She didn't look like she belonged here, on a rattling school bus heading up a mountain. She looked like something from a dream. I stared. Too long. She turned, caught me, didn't flinch, just smiled like she'd been waiting, then turned forward again like nothing happened. My stomach flipped and suddenly I was sweating. It wasn't just the curves in the road anymore. I buried my face in my lap and tried to ride it out. I didn't want to puke, not here, not on a bus full of strangers. I forced myself to look up, straight ahead, out the windshield, just in time to see the road curve sharply left, but the bus wasn't turning. The driver was fiddling with the radio, unaware. We were headed straight for open air. I shouted, louder than I ever had before. The driver snapped the wheel. The tires screamed. The whole bus tilted. We hit the guardrail. It bent, screamed, held. Somehow it didn't break. The front wheels found road again. The rear swung back onto asphalt like a giant pendulum. Then stillness. No one spoke. We coasted a few more miles until we pulled into a rest stop. The other school's teacher was yelling at the driver, demanding we turn back. A second bus was being called. 2-hour wait. I sat alone on a picnic bench near the edge of the lot, away from everyone. The rain started, light and cold. It helped. I welcomed the numbness. That's when she came. The girl. From the front of the bus. Alone again. She didn't say anything at first. Just stood there, watching me. Then sat down beside me like it was nothing. "Did you think we were going to die?" she asked. It wasn't flirtation, it was curiosity. Pure, cold curiosity. "Yeah," I said. "I thought we were done." "I knew we would die," she said, "but not then, not yet." I stared at her, unsure if she was joking. She smiled, calm and unreadable. "Come with me. I want to show you something. You'll never forget it." She took my hand. Her skin was warm and dry, like she'd never felt the rain. I should have pulled away, but I didn't. We slipped into the woods behind the rest area. No one followed. No one saw. Or if they did, no one cared. The trail disappeared fast, replaced by thick brush and wet moss. We climbed until the trees parted and the world opened to a high, flat ridge. Fog clung to the edges like cotton. In the center of the clearing was a stone picnic table, weathered, out of place. She sat, gestured for me to do the same. "Put your hands on mine," she said. I did, and the world changed. I was back on the bus. The same one, same seat, same sky. Caleb was still chatting up the brunettes. She was in the front seat again, facing forward. The moment repeated, the same curve, the same inattentive driver. But this time I couldn't scream. No sound came out, only the high ringing in my ears. We missed the turn. We crashed through the guardrail. And we fell. I felt every second, the weightless drop, the crushing impact, the suffocating silence underwater, then the fog again, then the table, then her, and again. Only this time it was the accident from before. My mother, the fire, her scream, then the bus, then the fire, then the bus. And I couldn't stop it. Couldn't move, couldn't scream. Again and again and again. Until finally, I was back on the bus, sitting beside her. She leaned in, close. Her voice was ice. "Do you want to be here?" My throat loosened. "No." "One last thing," she said. And then I was standing by a lake. The same lake we would have fallen into. I looked up and saw the bus falling from the sky. Screams. A flash of faces behind the glass. Caleb's was the last. It hit the water, sank fast. "Go," she said. "You can still reach him." I ran, I swam, I dove, and for a moment I thought I had him. His hand, his eyes, desperate and pleading. But I was too late. The bus disappeared into the deep, and then I was back on shore. The fog hung heavy. She stood a few feet away, arms limp, smile gone. I closed my eyes and screamed, but this time the scream worked. I woke up in bed. My foster mom was downstairs, sobbing. I ran to her. She could barely speak. The bus, Caleb's bus, it crashed. They can't find anyone. It just disappeared. I never got on the bus, not in this version of the world. I stayed home. I faked sick. I stayed in bed. They all died. 22 students, 1 driver, 1 teacher, gone. And now, every time I close my eyes, I'm forced to relive it all over again. Sometimes the crash, sometimes the fire. Always the same ending. But if that thing ever comes back, if it ever asks me again, "Do you want to be here?" my answer will never change.